here we are.
Number one.
Number one, interview with Karl Mckenna. Tell me your secret. What is your favourite exercise to coach?
I love the squat.
Why?
Because I suck at it.
And you love to coach it.
Oh, I love it. I get anyone to squat like ass to grass, but it's the one exercise that no one could ever help me with. So obviously I learned to get really good at it. Why can't I help myself? I don't get coached by myself. I always hire a coach to coach me because I believe that if it's a bit hypocritical that I tell people to train with me, but then I'm like, oh, I don't train with any coach because that's beneath me. Well, you should always have a coach. Takes the guesswork out of everything. So, you know, you don't look up how to make a cake and then just get flour and eggs and smash it together. No, depending on the cake, you look at the recipe and then you make it. But obviously after a period of time, you get experience and then you can do it without the recipe, but you have to start somewhere with guidance. So yeah, that's why I recommend everyone should have a coach. Plus, it's someone to talk to.
So if you had a coach,
because I need a friend.
You might have achieved a squat already.
Yeah, should have, but not all the coaches I've worked with have the experience that I have, or they don't have the tools that I'm looking for, or the goal that I have is to squat like an Asian, which is feet together, ass to grass. So a lot of them are like, well, like you're naturally not designed that way, but inbuilt to me, I'm like, that's wrong. Everyone's designed to be able to do it. Like I can squat it like wide stance. I can get that depth, like quite low. But to me personally, I want to obviously chase perfection. If I can't hit perfection, I'll hit greatness. But if I keep pushing towards it, I'll get closer and closer. Might not ever hit it, but obviously I want to be as close as possible. So I always want to strive to be better. And that's really my ambition. A lot of the coaches I've worked with are world-renowned and fantastic, the experience that they have, but they were happy with where I was and they would always tell me not, but deep down I was like, nah, it's never good enough, I've got to keep going. So yeah, to all my coaches, they're all fantastic, but I think my next step is to really hone someone in with the manual therapy, posturology, like really bring it all together. They can be hands-on, because I've worked with the coaches that I've worked with currently are more online because I can't fly to Canada and back every day. That's not really affordable to really get that. So finding someone obviously more in the CBD location would be great. Fortunately, it's not available, so I just have to build my own team and they'll train me.
Perfect.
So I'll just teach them.
Excellent. All right.
So if you forgot, it was the squat.
That was the answer. Initial answer.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you like to eat?
Food.
What type of food?
Delicious food.
What type of delicious food?
All of it. What a silly question. Why would I eliminate my choice of food? No, I want a pizza. Oh, that's what you'll have for the rest of
Favorite
it.
movie?
Porn.
Favorite game to play?
Porn. No, I think favorite movie, it's Clash. Treasure Planet is a good one. I like that one. And Pirates of the Caribbean. I like pirates. Arr, me matey.
Favorite game to play?
Favorite game to play? I like all games. Favorite game to collect would be Final Fantasy.
The question was favorite PlayStation.
Yeah, favorite game, like favorite PlayStation game. It's completely different because like Xbox is mostly Halo, so I like playing Halo because that's fun. Shoot 'em up, kill 'em. Xbox at the moment, I've been playing Far Cry New Dawn, but then I got the platinum trophy for it. For now, I'm not interested. So really, if I find a game I enjoy, I just want the trophy. So to answer the question, I like Final Fantasy because I also collect that.
Okay. What is the first thing you do in the morning?
I wake up,
And then?
get out of bed,
And then?
drink water,
And then?
hydrate my body.
And
then depending on what I've probably had 500 mils of water with salt and lemon, and then I'll probably wait 15 minutes. More than likely I'll need to pee, then I pee. Then I'll have apple cider vinegar, poo, and then leave, or I'm getting back into the habit of steak and veg for breakfast with coffee. But though I'm really not enjoying the coffee so much because I want to get off it, because I got to focus on quality of sleep. So yeah, prioritizing myself first thing in the morning. And then I walk, I then leave, and then I do my walking to work, and then I train people. Or I'm on the laptop working.
Excellent. Just a little word association game.
Done, let's do it.
Okay. Milk.
Yep.
White.
Yep.
No, you can't say yep.
Yep's a word. You said word association game. Yep. They process it. I got it. Yep.
Plants.
Right there.
One word.
Mine.
Hormone.
Null.
Normal.
Hormonal.
Hormone.
Yeah, you said hormone. I said
Hormone?
all. Many.
Last one.
Winning. Last one. You.
Eat.
Food.
And that was an interview with number one question. Why did you get into the fitness industry?
Why didn't I? Well, it was easier to be in a gym than it was a daycare. It was easy. So my dad, what would happen was I would go to the gym, spend about 2-3 hours there, talk to the trainers, learn as much as possible, and then my dad would pick me up. Obviously, the goal was to do as many reps as possible. Obviously, I know now that was a bad idea, but I really started to notice in those gyms that not all the trainers were there to educate themselves, to educate their clients for longevity. A lot of them were there to just make money. Like, yeah, it's about making money, but really I wanted to make changes. So I got into the industry to make a difference. And this is where I am. This is how Vitruvian Health was born. Top circle indicates priority. Everyone has a different focus. Not everyone's cookie cutter. I watch so many people get the same programs. I'm in the industry to make a difference and make sure that everyone really gets what they need, not, you suit the exact same thing as everyone else. So that's what got me into it, to make a difference.
So when you first meet a client, how do you approach it?
Hi, my name's Karl, how can I help? Here's one, and then two is, you got a question, I have an answer. Because really when I approach someone, I have no agenda. I just want to know the person. Why have they been stuck? How can I help them? And just it unfolds into many questions. And a lot of the time when I started, I wouldn't know the answer. I was like, oh my God. But then I'm like, cool, let's organize a time in 2-3 days, which gave me time to research, which then taught me more, so I could teach that person how to help themselves. So it was really interesting. It's really exciting when I meet new people because I get to see their challenges, and then obviously if I don't have the answer, I'm going to get the answer and help them out.
And so when you do coach a client, what do you focus on?
Them.
Yeah.
A lot of the time with the individual, a lot of people believe that training is the answer, but it's really not. It's like that much. So like, let's say if this whiteboard was the individual, it probably would be like an 1/8, probably a 16th, like that big. So a lot of people think that this is the answer, but you've got their lifestyle, you've got their sleep, you've got their stress, you've got their relationship, you've got their nutrition, you've got their quality of food, you've got their stress management system, you've got their own work, if they've got kids, which that's going to take up a lot of it. What if they have pets? There's so many factors that are incorporated into this. I start here because this is going to improve someone's movement, another one, someone's movement and their posture. That can correlate and affect and help all of these by allowing them to manage their stress a little bit better, but it also allows me to start to get them feeling their own body, so they're conscious of what each of these are doing to themselves. And then obviously from that, I work on the lifestyle themselves, and then it just transpires.
So it sounds like when you first meet a client, you really spend the time to get to know them and understand how they're living at the moment, and then also where they want to be. So I mean, that can be quite an overwhelming, I guess, a long conversation with both clients to begin with. So how do you decide what to focus on first?
They tell me. Like, I might want to go in to talk about their kids, but some people don't like to talk about their kids. Like, they don't know me. Why would they share that information? It really depends on where the conversation goes. If you like sports cars and I like sports cars, let's talk about cars for a bit. But over time, people will open up. Like, I have no right to question someone's authority on where exactly we have to start. They'll tell me where they're stuck. And obviously over time, it's like layers. Like, if this was number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, well, I need to work on this before they tell me more about this, then this, and this. So when I meet someone, it is a day by day, but it starts with who are they, where are they stuck, how can I help them? And if, for example, most people struggle with sleep. Cool, sleep. I could just say sleep more, but let's talk about, okay, do you sleep in a pitch black room? No. Do you have lights in the room? Oh, I have a TV. Okay, let's move the TV. Then you just chip away at everything in that room, and then you make little changes and talk to them and how that helps. And you'll find that they might start to make correlations with other parts of their life. Oh, I slept really well last night. Cool, how'd you feel? Just so relaxed. How was work? Oh, man, work was a lot better. Interesting. So yeah, and then if some people don't make the connection, I'm there to help them make that connection. To be like, isn't it interesting that work stress has gone down, the workload's increased or the same, yet your sleep got better? Like, never thought of it that way.
Okay, so there's really a few factors that you look at. Let's like workshop with a potential client that would come, you meet in the gym. So say I'm mid-30s, I've got 2 kids, I'm an office worker, been an office worker for about 10 years. Have a husband who works night shifts. And
that's going to be fun.
What I really want to do is lose 15 kilograms. And my kids are about 3 to 5 years old. So the weight that I want to lose is weight that I've retained from when the children were born, which I haven't been able to lose over the last 3 to 5 years because I haven't prioritised myself. So where would you start without going too much into the background?
Well, let's quickly break it apart. One, the partner being a night shift worker could disrupt her sleep by him waking up when he comes home. Him being a shift worker obviously decreases his life expectancy by up to 7 years, so therefore he needs to probably look at his supplementation so he can maximize his sleep, which if he's not doing that, that could cause him stress. 3, the kids might not be sleeping well, but the kids might be eating the wrong foods, which make them erratic, which causes her more stress. 4, the kids' age. Obviously, there's travel between schools and aftercare before care, so that adds more time for her. She could obviously organise carpooling with other people. 5, you could be looking at her age. 6, you could be looking at the type of work that she's doing. She's done it for 10 years. Has she created a system that maximises her own time and value for herself? So really her 40-hour week is really only 30 hours for her, but allows her time and flexibility? Or is she in a role that's just drilling her? But that's just like a quick overhaul of what I'd be thinking straight away. But really, I just want to know why 15 kilos? Like, that's a number. Why not 10? Why not 5? Why did we pick this number? Was it an emotion? Well, 5 years ago, before she had the kids, she had a certain weight. Okay, but how did she feel at that point? Was she lifting 2 times her body weight? Was she strong? Was she injury-free? It might then uncover that she wasn't strong. Okay, cool. Well, what if you were 15 kilos lighter and strong and could lift those weights? Now she's not interested in she's not focused purely on the weight. She's purely focused on lifting weight. Okay, what's more important to you? Oh, being as strong as possible because it minimizes injury. Oh, okay, so for you to lose 15 kilos, you would feel lighter, therefore more agile and less injury prone. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well then it's not really weight loss, it's more strength. But decreasing her weight will decrease inflammation, stress on the body, which allows her to recover quicker, so then she can get stronger faster. So there's a correlation now to the 2. So to her, if she sees her weight go up, sometimes people feel like they fail. But it's like, hang on, your strength's gone up as well. So understand that sometimes weight gain does happen. It's called muscle mass or water retention, which in the first 4 to 8 weeks, people put on water weight and don't lose any weight. And they're like, I'm not losing anything. It's like, well, yeah, because there's more inflammation in the body or muscle damage because we're going to be focusing on weight training or resistance training. And it's only after that 4 to 8 weeks that people see the weight drop and they're like, oh, it makes sense. But it just takes time. But it's being able to, from that point of 15 kilos, really understand who this person is and what it means to them, and then being able to explain that to them so they understand, okay, Instagram and social media say I can lose the weight in a week, but really it's going to take 4 to 8 weeks if I do it properly and naturally, and that therefore will be sustainable long term.
Okay, so just taking that particular client,
Yep.
You've had that conversation, you've done a bit more fact finding, so then what now would you provide her with to track her on to reaching her goals?
Yeah, so first thing I would do is I'd do a reflection log. I want to see what she's eating, what times, how does she feel when she eats those foods, and if she can't do that, I now need to come up with a strategy or a system that's going to work for her to manage her food intake. Because you can eat quality food, you can manage all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, you need to be in a calorie deficit. If you're at 2,000 and you're at 1,900, you've created a deficit. That in over time will create the weight loss. But if people are challenged with all of these points, as talked before, her natural baseline of calories might be less because the body is under attack. So it decreases output of energy to help it survive. So we need to help control all these markers. So reflection logs are going to allow us to see what's going on with her day to day. 2, I'm going to do a structural balance assessment. I want to see how she moves. Like if she lunges, does she wobble or shift? Or when she steps, is she nice and stable? Well, think of it, if you're doing 10,000 steps a day and you've got this wobble every time, that's going to be obviously challenging your structure or your posture a lot more. Or if you're quite strong and stable, then you're going to have a less chance of injury. 3rd, at the end of the consult, we're going to look at one thing that she can start doing. Majority of the time, most people should be drinking more water. So 0.07 times your body weight, that's your maximum water intake. I aim to hit that. Within 3 days, people are drinking that and they feel they've already lost 2-3 kilos. So one thing at a time, and a few other things through that week to help. So 1, she's filling out a reflection log for me. 2, I do a structural balance assessment to see how she moves so I can design a plan for her when we see each other next week. And 3, she's going to start drinking water every day, if she's not. So then at the end of the week, I'll have some information on how she feels and what she's doing. She'll get some information from me. And then 3, she's already got action steps to help her lose her weight, get her feeling better.
So then that next week when you meet with her and she's implemented that one thing and you've got the plan, what does the plan look like?
Well, if she has. Sometimes people might not do it because life gets too busy. Cool. And then the question to ask is, okay, I gave you something to do, you haven't done it. It happens, life gets in the way. What is something that you feel that we could do? Give them a list of things and be like, where do we start? And what we've done in Vitruvian Health, we've created a system called 20 points to success. So we have a questionnaire that has 20 points in it, and you literally tick off what you have done or haven't done, and you straight off have a success rate. So if you get 10 ticks, you have a 50% success chance of achieving your goal. So fat loss, strength, posture, injury prevention, cognitive enhancement, you get to score on this. Now, depending on your score will depend on your level of success to achieve it. Ideally, we want 100%. If you get 80%, we have 4 points that we know that we should be prioritizing or working on for that individual. So we get that list. Now, when she sees me, I'm going to have a program for her. I'm going to teach her how to move right and how to warm up properly. She will have a program that's depending on her goals, anywhere between 4 to 6 days, or training 3 to 6 times a week. Ideally 4 to 6, but some people do need 3 because of their lifestyle. But we'll have a program ready for her. But we don't start there. We're going to teach people how to move right first and how to warm up. Because if you can't warm up, you're obviously then going to be tighter. You can lift a weight that you might not be prepared for. And there's your shoulder, there's your back, and you're like, I can't continue. So a lot of the time it starts from step 1, teaching people how to move right.
Which can be quite good, particularly if that person has never lifted weights before.
100%.
And just done cardio.
Yeah, most people don't teach people how to warm up properly, which is a scary thing.
Absolutely.
Like it's assumed knowledge. Oh, you know how to move, you got here all right. Yeah, but let's say this lady at 30, she's a mother and she's a specialist in IT. Mother that specializes in IT doesn't specialize in movement, doesn't specialize in training. Cool. Well, I'm not going to go to my accountant to do IT work, to develop a website. No, I'm going to go to this specialist in IT who's good at like systems and website development, or maybe a graphic designer. Like you go to the person that specializes. And everyone believes that training is that one thing that no one should specialize in, but that's why I'm a personal trainer. It's in my title. I personalize it for you. So, yeah.
Based on their life.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta understand, like, if you hurt your shoulder, like, let's say she's a mother, she's picking kids up all the time, she's wrenching the kids up, all the muscles in her shoulder and her pec get really jacked up. And she hasn't trained. When was she ever thinking about depressing and retracting her scapula so she wasn't overloading her traps? Well, no, many people think about that. So then what happens is all those muscles in the front do this, and she looks like this. most people have this posture. Then you put her at a desk, then you give her food. She's naturally always going to be here. So she's never thinking about scapulars retracting and depressing, because a lot of the time with the traps, if your traps are on, your lats are off. If your lats are on, your traps are off. This is the posture people want. This is the posture people don't want. This is the posture that people have. This is the posture they don't have. So most people really need to focus on using muscles in the back.
Okay, so just going back to this particular lady, so she's implemented the one recommendation, hopefully she's implemented it from the first week when you met.
And if she hasn't, it's okay.
And then you've given her her training program, and so then she's training X number of days a week, a couple of times either with yourself or another trainer in your team.
Yep, Vitruvian Health team.
And then, so then what after that? In 4 weeks' time, will she get a new program? Will you reassess her goals? How do you ensure that she's staying on track?
Yes, every week to 2 weeks we do check-ins. So we're using a system called skin folds. We use calipers to assess people's body composition. It's also known as the biosignature modulation, developed by Charles Poliquin. It's 12 sites, pinch people, cheek, chin, in all these areas, and it gives you a body fat percentage. I use quotations because it's a mathematical equation. You can use tape measures, you can use toe touching assessments, you can use scales and weights, but this is what we use as one measure. And we just want to see where she's at. Have her skin folds gone up? Have they gone down? Or the tape measure? Ideally, we want to see them go down because the goal was to lose weight. And this is what we use to track in or keep her accountable to obviously the goal that she wants. Big hairy bodacious goal, you should be able to drop 1% per week, but bare ass minimum, you should be able to drop at least 0.25. If you haven't dropped 0.25, it tells us that something's going on. Is it food? Is it stress? Is it sleep? Is it training? Fun fact, if you've got the right training program, it's not training. It's actually sleep, stress management, food. And if you're telling me that you're not eating enough, then we look at your sleep and your stress. If you are sleeping 8.5 hours, okay, we got stress. If you don't have stress, you're lying to me about your nutrition. So it's a tool that allows me to really check in and hold people accountable. Because if we've given you a program that lasts about 4 to 6 weeks, typically, because at 4-week mark, if you're still lifting heavier, shouldn't change the program. Just because everyone says you should change, doesn't mean you should, because if your goal is to get stronger, you need to focus on 4 key factors: progressive overload over time, full range of movement, correct exercise selection, and not training through pain. Technically, controlled tempo is the exercise as well, but 4 main ones.
So the training program is more just ensuring that the client is undertaking the movement and progressing forward in that area. So if they are progressing forward in that area, but they're not losing weight, or they're not building their strength up or whatever, that's in training, then you can look at the other areas of their life to see what other alterations need to be changed.
Yep.
Okay, so then you're going to check in with her weekly to assess her skin folds, but then do you look at the goals again after a month's time or 2 months' time?
No, if the goal was to lose 15 kilos, we would just be checking in. How much has she lost? Hopefully she's lost 2 to 4 kilos. How's she feeling? If she feels like crap, then okay, that goal needs to change. Or the way we're going about it. We want to make sure people are enjoying themselves. Yeah, like when you're cutting down and taking away food from people, everyone gets a little miserable, but you want to manage it. If you're losing the weight, say 4 weeks, you've lost 4 kilos, question is, do you want to eat less or move more? You want to obviously make you as the individual want to make the right choice, and I'm there to guide you with it. So move more. How do you want to do it? Oh, I like cycling. Great. Do sprints. If you enjoy cycling, do more cycling. Like, you want it to be an enjoyable process. If you hate the process, like you hate sprinting, why would I want to make you do sprinting? Makes no sense. So it should be still an enjoyable process. But it's also one that you as an adult should make the choice yourself. Because if you make the choice, you can't whinge to me. You can bitch, but it's okay.
And you're also more likely to follow it.
100%. You want to enjoy the process. Yeah. Remember, the key to any good plan is sustainability. Like if you look at like some of the best transformations or the best results, success leaves clues. All those people enjoyed it. The transformations that you see that you don't see, the ones that people didn't enjoy the whole process. Like there's many people out there that complain about, oh, it's just so hard. Okay, what if it wasn't? What if it was the easiest thing in the world? Oh, you'd have nothing to complain about. So the idea is to make it that easy, so then you don't complain about it.
Okay, so then what next when the client achieves the 15 kilogram weight loss?
High five!
What happens then? Do they just go away and never see them again?
No, we sit down, plan your goals. So this is why at the beginning we establish, what does that 15 kilos mean to you? Because it's going to bring us to many, many things. And remember, the second thing I talked about was strength. Okay, cool, you've lost the 15 kilos, but we're still not where we need to be for the 2 times body weight lift. Okay, so now the goal has been shifted. We need to stick to a maintenance plan, keeping your body weight consistently where it is, or fluctuating 2 to 3 kilos, because again, sometimes there's going to be an increase in water, there's going to be an increase in muscle mass. Okay, we need to drop some fat here. Next to that is we need to look at obviously progressive overload over time, change the rep ranges, the scheme of the programs, so that person is consistently increasing their strength. Once they get there, we check, is their weight still there? And we kind of do this flow and ebb and flow, because they might hit 2 times body weight, but they might now want to compete because they've sustained the weight where they are. They're now lifting the weights that they're at, but maybe you're noticing that the pecs, or for females, obviously it's the tushy, but you might notice that the glutes aren't there. Cool, now it's becoming a body composition goal to bring up the glutes. But we could bring up your glutes, and you could get slightly weaker in certain areas. So now the goal is, cool, we want to maintain posterior strength, so keep that posture in the back nice and strong, whilst increasing the hypertrophy of the glutes, make them bigger, but not to the point that disproportionalizes the body. Can you imagine that? Big and like this narrow body? Then that doesn't look sexy. So now it's, we've lost the weight, she's feeling more confident, she's feeling stronger in her body. Now it's like, everyone likes to look good naked. Cool, now we're catering to that. So if you're the husband, you're welcome.
Okay, cool.
Or maybe you could sign up.
So just in summary, what are the key things that...
So the key factors of Vitruvian Health are, we're going to focus on your lifestyle, get to understand who you are, what you're doing. We want to see a reflection of your nutrition so we can help you outside of your training sessions. 3, personalized training sessions for you with training programs. We're going to work on your mindset to hold you accountable and sustainable with all your goals. At the end of the day, it needs to be consistent and enjoyable. And those are the main factors that we're going to look at. Well, that's the foundation of what we do. But really it starts with you and where you want to begin.
Great.
Awesome. Enjoy.
Thank you.